You probably know is no longer the case. Kathy Willets is gaining fame not only here but all over the country. Reporters everywhere seem to want a piece of her story, which is taking on a life of its own. The attention is turned into chaos in the courtroom, and we have Team 7 coverage tonight, beginning with Susan Kelleher and the ground rules to control this media mayhem.
Kathy Willets told the world she turned to prostitution to treat her nymphomania. Ever since, the Tamarack housewife has become the talk of households all across the country.
I feel that it's revolting and disgusting, especially if a husband would use his own wife as a sex object.
It happens all over, so people get arrested for prostitution. She's just another prostitute.
Just another prostitute? The media doesn't think so. Factor in a deputy husband who stands accused as the pimp who videotaped Kathy and her customers in the act. That explains this crush of media that follows the Willets wherever they go.
You have the Palm Beach Post, you have the Associated Press, you have People Magazine, Time Magazine, Washington Post.
The courtroom coverage has become such a circus, reporters met with courtroom administrators to work out a truce for the Willets' next appearance. The new rules call for no more than 17 reporters and one TV camera in the courtroom at all times. The Willets legal saga will be played out in courtroom 770, but that courtroom has only half the seating of this one. People living here in South Florida can come and watch the high drama live, but they will likely wait in line. According to the new courtroom rules, only 17 passes will be issued to the general public. Part of the reason, public safety. The court has already seen 3 injuries in the reporter's rush to get the story.
A child was knocked over out of a stroller. I understand that several of the news people themselves were injured trying to follow the Willets out of the building the last time they were here.
And it's likely fascination with the Willets will reach a fever pitch when details of this suburban sex scandal unfold in court October 2nd. In Fort Lauderdale, Susan Kelleher, Channel 7 News.
Those 17 courtroom passes for the general public are not going to be near enough, we're told. The last time, you may recall, the Willets went to court, more than 100 spectators wanted a seat in that courtroom.
And more courtroom drama today by lawyers in the Kathy Willets sex scandal. A Broward County prosecutor wants Willets attorney Alice Rubin to turn over the tape. The videotape that everyone is talking about. The tape allegedly showing her having sex with former Fort Lauderdale Vice Mayor Doug Danziger. Our Team 7 coverage continues with Michael Williams following the sex scandal from our newsroom.
Sally, it is one thing for a Broward prosecutor to file a discovery motion today, which in essence, as you say, is an effort to get his hands on this tape allegedly showing Kathy Willets involved with sex with a former commissioner. But what has Alice Rubin, Kathy Willets' attorney, far more upset is the direct approach Dade state prosecutors took to try and get their hands on the tape. These are exclusive pictures taken last Saturday by Channel 7 showing investigators with the Dade State Attorney's Office going into and out of Alice Rubin's Miami law offices. They confiscated dozens of videotapes from the law firm, hoping to find the one allegedly showing Kathy Willets having sex with Doug Danziger, the former Fort Lauderdale commissioner. Later, Rubin would say that investigators went too far. He says they confiscated tapes from other case files that had nothing to do with Willets, and that in doing that, they trampled on attorney-client privilege, and he promises to fight them in court. Now, the focus on the tape, of course, revolves around allegations that people in Rubin's law office were trying to market the tape. That, of course, is when the Dade State Attorney's Office first decided to investigate whether or not the tape was made illegally. That investigation goes on today. Nobody at the Dade State Attorney's Office having very much to say about the controversy that has arisen Saturday. One more note, still waiting to see if the John Doe list will come out, but the latest word is that that could be a few more days at least before we'll have word on whether the names of the John Does will in fact come out. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Michael Williams reporting, Rick. The hundreds of reporters trying to cover her story. The scene at the Broward County Courthouse is turning into what judges are calling media mayhem. Reporters are crowding around the accused prostitute and her husband, fighting for coverage. Court officials want to make sure it is not the same way inside. So when the Kathy Willets trial starts, only 17 reporters and one TV camera will be allowed in the courtroom. While reporters want the story, officials involved with the case want the secret Willets sex tape. Now, these are pictures you're going to see only on 7, showing investigators from the Dade State Attorney's Office looking for the tape in the offices of attorney Ellis Rubin. The tape is a hot property. It reportedly shows Kathy Willets having sex with Doug Danziger, the former vice mayor of Fort Lauderdale. Today, a Broward prosecutor filed a motion, one that would force Rubin to hand over the tape. Rubin says officials are overstepping their bounds. As for the list of Kathy Willets' alleged customers, attorneys for the John Does will plead their case tomorrow, telling a judge why the list should stay secret. If they lose, the list and the men on it could be out in the open.
Live, this is the Eyewitness News 11 o'clock report with Steve Wolford, Chandra Bill, Dan Oliver with sports, and John Matthews, Doppler 12 weather.
Wait until after their trial on prostitution charges to see if they'll get permanent custody of their 7-year-old daughter. The girl is staying with her grandparents, but David and Mary Ann Chadden want permanent custody also. Jeffrey Willets' former wife, the child's mother, died in a car accident 3 years ago. A judge said today the custody case will be decided after the Willets go to trial. Now, meanwhile, attorneys for the media asked an appeals court to release Kathy Willets' so-called black book of client names.
We have always held, and it's fundamental, that we should scrutinize what goes on in our court system, what law enforcement is doing, what the courts are doing, and what perhaps politicians or prominent people are doing.
The Willets list may contain the names of prominent people, but so far the Court of Appeals has made no ruling. The Willets trial is scheduled for October 2nd.
The Willets case has had national publicity, including Chicago, where the Willets were to have appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. They say they were instantly recognized all over town, but their fame has caused some changes at the Broward County Courthouse. Eyewitness News reporter Liz Quirantes has that story.
The Broward County Courthouse hasn't seen this much media activity since the rap group 2 Live Crew was brought up on obscenity charges last year. News organizations from South Florida and from around the country mob the Willets every time they appear in court. Because of the high media and public interest in this case, seating in Judge John Frusciante's courtroom has been limited. 17 seats for the media, 17 seats for the public. First come, first served. Other changes include limiting where news media interviews may be held and forcing crews to pool or share video. This, say courthouse officials, was done to ensure control and safety.
During one of the hearings, we had a child injured. Upon the Willets exiting of the courtroom, one of the representatives of the media knocked a child out of a stroller while he was waiting to go into court on the next hearing.
Every person we spoke to today outside the courthouse knew just about every detail about the Willets case. Most of them are enjoying the publicity. Others are cashing in. Hot dog vendors say the Willets are a welcome sight.
When they show up, it's always, great to have them because they do bring us business down here.
They're the hot items around town, no doubt about it. And
I think things like this should be brought to the public's attention. What went on is a total disgrace.
I don't think that these people should be praised as some kind of folk heroes for what they did. If they broke the law, they should pay the penalty.
The courthouse calmed down this afternoon following a morning Willets custody hearing, but there will be another round of activity next Thursday when attorney Ellis Rubin tries to convince the judge that he does not have a conflict of interest in this case. This following allegations his firm tried to sell a tape of Kathy Willets having sex with a client. In Fort Lauderdale, Liz Quirantes, TV 12 Eyewitness News.